Welcome back to Is It Worth Seeing Theatrically? I'm Chris, and this week we're looking at Hunting Matthew Nichols. Screening of this one, and it is a mockumentary. They want to call it a horror movie. It's supposed to be set 2 decades after a brother mysteriously disappears on Vancouver Island. A documentary filmmaker sets out to solve his missing persons case. A disturbing piece of evidence is revealed. She comes to believe he might still be alive. This was directed by Markin Tarasik, written by him and Sean Harris Oliver. It stars Miranda McDougall, Markin Tarasik, Christine Wiles, and it is not a horror movie. It very much feels like they were trying to kind of copy the Netflix documentary style, well as there was like Blair Witch Project attempts going on with this, and it just doesn't. The movie's not entertaining. It started out, I was kind of never seen any of these people. I don't know any of the actors, so it really did make me feel like I was watching a documentary to the point where I was like, okay, this is kind of interesting. Documentaries can be informative. There's usually a lot of confirmation bias with documentaries. Whoever's doing the documentary confirm whatever their goal is by asking questions that go towards that goal. And so most documentaries leave out a lot of stuff. There are some really interesting, like Who Killed the Car. I found they're very interesting, informative documentary about electric cars back in the 90s. But they kind of did it like a murder mystery, and so there wasn't. They never really confirmed how the electric car came to an end. They just had some ideas based on conversations and laws and things that were passed. But regardless, Hunting Matthew Nichols, it fails to continue to entertain after the first 15-20 minutes of the movie. After that, it just kind of doesn't really become all that entertaining. It completely loses it, and you're gonna call yourself a horror movie, but the only horror aspects occur within the last 5 minutes of the movie. The rest of it is just people talking about what happened. There's a scene where they found a video, they show it, but what we get to see as the audience is the director and the guy that's holding the camera watching the video, and you hear some sounds of something terrible happening. And it never quite hits at any point where it's like, oh, this is such an amazing thing. I'm sure there's going to be people out there that will like this kind of film, but story-wise, there's a lot of things going on that they could have simplified and made more sense. Last 5 minutes of the movie just enough to.
So whatever I find, I'm okay with, because I'll have gotten to know my brother better.
Even at an hour and a half, this was such a boring. So I wouldn't recommend this one. I'm not even sure I'd recommend this streaming. If you're drunk and you're wanting to throw something on that you're not going to pay attention to and you really don't care about, maybe then you might throw this on. But otherwise, I'd avoid it. If you did have a chance to see it, leave a comment down below. Or if I helped save you some money from seeing this movie, leave a comment there, and I will catch you on the next one. Bye-bye.